Okay. See if I can't. How do I want to do this? Maybe like, let's see. I want it to be like this. So. Hey, Bjorn. Okay. I've got the stream up on my laptop. Oh, I can see chat on here. Cool, I didn't think I'd be able to do that. My cord's just like not quite long enough because I want to be charging it. Hold on, things might get a little turbulent. Chloe, what are you doing? Hey. What are you doing back there? Hey, Kobe Tharp, thanks, man. If I could just get it... Nope. This really... It's not gonna work, is it? Hold on. How much battery power do I have? 32%. Let's try... Here, let's just try... Nope. Not quite. Nope. Nope. This is gonna be a little weird. Chat, so bear with me. Wait, what are all these buttons? What does this do? Oh, okay. Whoops. Whoops. No, just go away. Okay. No, I don't want to do that. See, the problem is the cord makes it so that I can't reach it this far. But the battery power is a little low, and I can't plug it into anything close because my cord is too short. You know what? Fuck it. Alright. Just get it. Yep. Alright, that's good enough. Hello, everyone. I'll probably turn on some music in a minute once I feel confident that everything's running well. You can kind of see my laptop back there. So we've got our water, we've got Kleenex, and I am painting my night haunts. So hopefully this light is good enough for you to see, but this is my warden, chain rasp warden working on. They're doing okay so far. It's gonna be hard for the camera to focus on them, I think. But this guy's coming out pretty good so far. See if I can. Where's the camera? There's the camera. See, focus, focus, focus. Come on. But in any event, right, that's a little better. So, right now what I'm doing is I'm painting all these chain rasps, which are spooky ghosts, and this little bunch here I have finished with their like silver, so you can kind of see if the camera would stop being a jerk. Why don't you focus on this? Focus on this. Wait, if I click, will it? Yeah, no. Damn it. A tripod? Yes, that would be the wise thing. Here, I'll just do this. So right now you can see, yeah, just like that. So I've got silver on here. I just put on the basic base coat for these silver. So I've only got a couple guys that have their silver on. This is this one, this poor bastard who's in stocks. So all these guys over here are who I'm working on next. So I'm just adding, right now I am putting on, I'm gonna have to shake all my paints up. I haven't used them a little bit. I think I'm putting on Ironbreaker right now. So do a barrel roll. Ooh, this is hard to do. It rotates to my face. Hello, my beard looks really bad. Wait, 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 wait. Okay, that's as good as you're gonna get. All right, y'all go back there. Am I excited for the Shadespire band? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop out chat just like this. That way I can see you guys. And then I can get some music. You know what? I'm just gonna turn on my favorite stuff.
September 1st, 1989. Dear Diary, I believe I'm a good person. You know, I think that there's
Y'all just let me know if that's too loud. But whether you can hear the music isn't really that important. All right. Let's start getting organized here. And for the metal, the base is... Oh, lead belcher. Okay, where's my lead belcher? I have a lot of paint here. Am I going to be at any cons this year? No, Swiss Bank, not to my knowledge. I don't make enough money to travel right now. You know what? I kind of want to add a little bit of... So this guy I was experimenting with. You can kind of see that he's... There you go. He's got like blue across his entire body, whereas these guys, I've done a mix of... Here, I'll grab my camera here. These guys down here at the bottom, they've got a mix of Hexray. They've got Hexray green on their actual soles and body parts, but then their cloaks are kind of a faded blue, which is Nighthaunt and Gloom. This guy, I kind of did an experiment where I just did Nighthaunt and Gloom for everything, and wasn't really big of a fan of how he turned out. I actually really like... I'm actually quite fond of these ghosts that kind of have like the greenish ethereal spirits, but then their shrouds are kind of that blue. So these guys are still fairly early on. Do I use non-Games Workshop paints? No, not really. Not for me. As you can see here, I have a pretty large selection of paints, and I've got even more paints in that bag. So, let's get you all back down here. There we go. Alright. What do I have in this bag? Druchii Violet. Balthazar Gold. Ushabti Brown. Or Bone, rather. Karak Stone. Dryad Bark. Paint them red so they go faster. Deepkin Flesh, which that one's very important. Rakarth Flesh. I promise I'm just shaking paints back here. I'm not doing something nefarious. It's been about a month since I last painted, so here's my lead belcher. There we go. So this is what we're going to be working with for right now, because we're working on those metals. Iron Rex skin. Thank God these water paints or these paints are water-based. Give them a good shake, and they're ripe as new. Because you can kind of tell if you look at them, well, not this one, but some of them, you can kind of see where the layers separate. I am painting chain rasps. So these guys, chain rasps are kind of like, they're the tortured souls of people who died in captivity. They're the like absolute basic infantry of the Nighthaunts. So they're just a bunch of spooky ghosts that are locked in chains and manacles, just like the way they died. You can never prove it, Justin. You can never prove anything. Yeah, John, these are Nighthaunts. They're Age of Sigmar army. It's basically like somebody took the spirits from Warhammer Fantasy, so like the Cairn race and stuff, and made them all into their own army. So they got like a full faction. So like you can kind of see on this color, see that black line like right here? Ooh, I need to cut my nails. Goodness. That line there is because the paint has separated. So you want to give it a really good shake. And then it's gone. And it looks the way it's supposed to look. Alright. I'm going to stop shaking up all my paints, though, and just find the ones that I need. So, where is my other lead belcher? Dawnstone, White Scar, Screaming Skull, Cantor, Ceramit, Doombull, Abaddon, Ironbreaker, Eshin, Runesteel, Hashit, Administratum, Abaddon, Ulthuan, Storm Vermin, Flash Gets Yellow, Nuln Oil, Agrax Earthshade, Carroburn Crimson, Skaven Blight Dinge. Oh, I guess I went and bought Lead Belcher. You know what? I bet I was using Foul's Lead Belcher. Because Foul brought some paint with him. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe I was using his Lead Belcher. Because I assume that's the color I was using. Yeah, I know how to paint. 2 thin coats, I know. Let's see. So for this metal, you're supposed to base coat with Lead Belcher. Then you work up to... let's see. Then you're supposed to work up to... You're supposed to shade it with Agrax Earthshade. Then layer again with Ironbreaker. Then layer again with Runefang Steel. What did I think of Slayer? I definitely think Slayer was the weakest book I've read in a while. It was... I mean, I didn't like Slayer or Kinslayer that much. It felt really rushed. So these guys are all done, so I'll let y'all just enjoy them. And then let's get the paints I'm going to need. No. Can y'all hear the music? So this is a medium layer brush. That'll work. Alright, so let's get all these brushes out of the way. You can sort of hear it? Okay. Well, y'all don't need to, like, hardcore hear it. If you want to listen along or you're curious, I like listening to musicals. It's my personal weakness. So I'm listening to the Heathers soundtrack. Yeah, you can tell here I was working on... This is my palette from the last time I was painting. So you can just see all the... You can see the Nighthaunt Gloom, the Hexwraith Flame, and then this is all Lead Belcher. Do I not have a paint studio? Nope. I paint on a table in my house upstairs. I don't have like a nice fancy studio or anything. But you have to understand, I literally just got back into painting. I haven't painted in such a long time. It's been a very long time since I've like finished a unit even. Like I've got... I can kind of show you. I've got some like Tyranids over there on top of everything. If you see them at the very top. Those are like a fuckload of Hormigons I still got to finish. But yeah. In any event. So let's put the palette over here. I mean, this is my studio. It's just not really a studio. Alright, and then where did I just put... Okay, that's the Air Lead Belcher. Okay, if you go buy paints, don't do this. Make sure, whenever you buy paints, if you're going to buy Citadel paints, you check to make sure that you get the base coat, not the airbrush, unless you want to waste money like I did. Thankfully, my place was nice enough to let me exchange it. They didn't have any Lead Belcher at the store I bought this one from, so I had to go to a different store to get this one. But you can see how different they look, because the airbrush ones are more watered down. So don't do that. Make sure you always check. because not everywhere will let you exchange it. All right, so let's get going. I've got my paper towels. And somebody asked earlier where I live. I live with my family. It's kind of just the best situation for me. You know, it's cheaper to live with others, and I actually really like my family, so I don't mind living with them. And I live here with my folks and my younger sister, who's, you know, she's only a year younger than me. She's not notably younger. Ah, fuck. And where did it go? Oh, there it is. And you know, because of my anxiety, I could not bear the idea of living alone. I lived by myself in a house and an apartment for about 2 years, and it literally it didn't go well. I'll just put it that way. Long story short. Whoops. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I don't really have a good... Nope. Okay, there. Alright, so hopefully... So I need to be about here for y'all to be able to see. Okay. So, we got this lead belcher. My face all mixed up. Are there any notable Noblars in Warhammer? No, not really. Noblars are pretty insignificant. I mean, there's like a couple that have like a name or a funny legend about them, like the originator of the Lookout Noblars, which are Noblars that ogres carry on their shoulders who warn them about like an incoming cannonball or something. This... I'm trying to figure out this paint needs a little water or not. Sometimes it doesn't hurt to add, like... Yeah, they renamed all the colors a little bit after... I think a little bit before the end of Warhammer. Yeah, if you need to ever add water to your paint, just remember, paint is sensitive. So only add like 1 or 2 drops at most. Well, Noblars are super fun. You might be amused to know I did have a... So if you've watched any of the roleplay series, I often played with a friend of mine named Jacob. And, you know, he's an important person in my life. And Jacob once ran me through a solo campaign where I was in the Mountains of Morn, and I was playing a Kislevite bear tamer. Though I was fairly powerful at that point, because it was just me and him. So, you know, you don't have to worry about power creep as much when it's just a solo campaign. And he had a whole arc in the Mountains of Morn, and the villain ended up being a Noblar, who is secretly possessed by a chaos cultist of Tzeentch, so he could get in close to the ogres. It was pretty hilarious. Oh, I just realized it would probably be better if... Hold on. I'm gonna see if I can... Whoops. I can see if I can be... Ow. Clever. Here. How many paints does it take to hold this thing up? Because otherwise my hand's gonna get in the way. You know what? Okay. I wish I had a stand. I am so not prepared for this. Let's try putting y'all with the water. Okay, we gotta flip y'all around. Let's try putting up over here by the water. There we go. Let me check what it looks like. I'm sorry. This is why it's an experiment. If you don't like experiments, don't show up. Okay, that should be good. All right, so let's get going. Where did I just... Okay. So how are y'all doing today? Is everybody good? Bad? I imagine most of y'all are back in school. How's that going? And I know y'all aren't able to see my hands, but I'll kind of show y'all as things are going. And I mean, if this series proves to be popular, you know, and everyone's like on a certain night, you get together to paint and all that jazz, then I'll probably try and save up some money to get a new camera. Let's see if I can get a little better light there. There we go.
Does your mommy know you eat all that crap?
Not anymore. When Mom was alive, we lived halfway normal. Now it's just me and my dad. We're less formal. I learned to cook pasta. I learned to pay rent.
Also, I didn't say hello today to everyone. Hey, Mint T, Brovar the Elderly, Trivia, Reginald, John, Kobe. Oh, Kobe, I'm sorry to hear you're not doing well, man. I'm doing okay. I woke up really late today. I really overslept. Really wanted to get some stuff done today, which I'm going to have to do tonight instead. So that's kind of a bummer. But on the bright side, I did get to make contact with the developers of Chaos Bane. So that was super cool. They asked me to DM them, which I haven't figured out how to do yet, but I will. So hopefully I can get an interview or something with them. But they seem like a really neat company, because they immediately responded to my message, which that's a good way to get on my good side, is immediately responding. Like I've tried to reach out publicly, or at least not as a customer, to the Warhammer Fantasy 7th Edition guys. And they are a huge pain in the butt. This is an interesting playlist. It's literally just the entire musical of Heathers, which is easily my favorite. That was kind of hard to see because it's like it was a little bit gray on this thing already. Make sure I got all the spots. Okay. Interesting taste. Dude, don't judge me. I don't want to hear your shit. Is this donate money for a camera stream? Any donations from this stream are gonna... Well, I mean, you know what? If y'all want to donate money to go towards the camera, that's your prerogative. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
Wait, really? Because I feel great.
Veronica, you are looking good tonight.
Whoa.
Guys smiled at me without a trace of mockery. Everyone's high as a kite. Ain't nobody home tonight. Stoned, I should quit. Hey, is that weed? I wanna hit.
I mean, it's sort of jolly, Justin, but it has kind of a fucked up story behind it. Heathers is not a story for the faint of heart. I think it's a very interesting view on growing up in the modern, well, not the modern world, but the world like 20 years ago. But I really like musicals because they tend to have like orchestral music. Orchestral plus, as I like to call it, because it's like orchestral, but they usually have guitars and other effects. And then the singers are usually really, really skilled. Hey, Amornar, how you doing, man?
Yo, Ram, emergency. I just saw some freshmen sneaking over the pool fence.
The thing I hate about thinning down paints is that like you end up wasting so much paint on like the palette because you don't, you want to water it down, but the paint dries so quickly because of how thin you can get it.
I have to vomit right now.
And this part I have to be really careful on because I'm painting the shackles on this guy, but you have to be really careful not to get the paint on the ghost flesh where it, wraps around his wrist. That's the tricky part. Like painting the weapons is easy, or the most of the chains, but you have to be really freaking careful around the the like actual manacle part. I think that's what they're called, manacles. Like, it's not a big deal if you get it on the hilt of the weapon, because you're going to paint over that anyway. But you gotta watch out for the... Gotta watch out for the ectoplasm.
So weird all the time. People wouldn't hate you so much if you acted normal. There's no alcohol in here. Trying to poison me.
Hey, Johnny Slicer. Thanks for the donation. Could I do a Fimmer Army Lore thing in the future? Sure. Are you wanting to just, like, know everything about the Fimmer? Yeah, I think I can manage that, Johnny. Maybe that's something we could do. I saw somebody was asking if there was a chance I could ever do like a bestiary series where I like focus on monsters. Maybe that's something we'll look into doing. Where we just have like an episodic series that just focuses on different creatures and monsters every episode. And we could slowly but surely fill out our own bestiary, but a bestiary of lore. That could be fun. No promises though. This is my favorite. Well, this is one of my favorite songs in this musical. It's literally like the sex song, and it's so funny. Like it's hysterical. Sotek, fantastic beasts and where to find them. I don't know if I would describe the beasts of the Warhammer world as fantastic. They're kind of horrifying in their own right. Like most, like the whole point of the Harry Potter movie is that the monsters are like misunderstood and people just, should learn to respect them. Warhammer is probably not the best agenda. Funny enough, I forgot to show it in the news video I made, but Games Workshop did this little series for the Beastman book, and it was literally it was like a poster that had been put out by Warhammer's or the Age of Sigmar's version of PETA, trying to explain how the Beastmen were like misunderstood and they're just animals and like they should be respected and all like treated as part of nature and all this stuff, and the Beastmen end up like vandalizing the sign and killing all the activists and eating them. I really liked that. I thought it was funny. Crazy C4, that's funny. They call it Goblin Radio. That's super goofy. Sounds like something Gobbo King would be doing. That's what he should call his, That's what he should call his... Sorry about that, guys, for the app crashed. Sorry about that. Took me a second to realize it. This is why I watch the stream. Yeah, sorry, the YouTube app on my phone crashed. It's not you, it's me. I'm thinking about maybe trying it on the laptop instead, but we'll try that next time.
not your everyday suicide. You should cancel classes. No, wait, coach. I said the kids only
If any of you are watching the stream, be sure to tell everyone else in chat to refresh their page.
Thank you, Miss Fleming. Call me when the shuttle lands.
I'm telling you, we all misjudged Heather Chandler. This is the loveliest suicide note I've ever read. Box up my clothing for Goodwill and give the poor minority.
Yeah. Brovar. Just tell them to refresh. I'm watching the stream on my laptop, so I can make sure it's up and running. Okay. That's a strong enough incentive for me. Hold on. I wasn't able to... It didn't automatically come up because it's not my usual live stream program. Oops.
They're refueling the buses, which gives us a solid half hour of fueling. Now, I have mimeographed copies of the suicide.
What's the stuff in the background? Hold on, I don't know. I'll check in a minute.
I never knew about her pain. Go on. Her life had hit a rocky patch. Feel. Deep down, she wasn't cruel or vain. Feel. She didn't mean to be a snatch. Veronica, you're very quiet. What's on your mind?
Piece of shit. You know what? Just go here. Go here. The music, I'm listening to the Heathers soundtrack from the musical, not the movie. I've never watched the movie. I know the movie's actually apparently a fairly different story. It's more about, like, it's a very different story. I'm just gonna put it that way. Okay, let's do this. And then, wait, can I just, boop, boop, boop. There we go. Control C. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I don't think most churches would support the Heathers movie. There you go. Now I can get back to what I was doing. And of course my brush dried out. Though, please note, I can only tell if someone donates if it shows up in chat, which I don't think regular donations do. So if you donate, I would very much appreciate it. Just keep in mind, I won't be able to see it until later today, unfortunately. So it's not that I'm ignoring you. Oh wait, you know what? No, I can. Well, yeah, it'll just be. I'll just put it that way. Shit. Hey, Misha, if you're in chat, could you copy that link I just posted and make sure that gets posted? God damn it. Make sure that gets posted like every, I don't know, like 10 or 20 minutes. Sorry, more 30 minutes. Every 30 minutes. So despite the fact that this song has like is hysterical and it has like this upbeat jazz sound to it. It's actually a date rape song, which is the super fucked up thing about this play. Like, a lot of the songs that are upbeat are actually really messed up.
Like Princess Leia, baby, you got to come through. Teach them to smile. Please help them through.
Now, I should say, the girl the song's about, she gets away before anything bad happens, but it's still pretty messed up. Well, you see Great Book of Grudges, I'm actually magical, so because I am magical, I can actually make contact with them. But you're right, the layman cannot. If any of you tried to grab one of my night haunts, they would just fall right through your hand. Or worse, they would like reach. It would just like... Okay, so probably not going to use the app. And probably going to try and use the laptop next time, but like I said, that's going to require some experimenting. Worst part is, I can't... Oh, wait, no, I'm stupid. I have an idea. Come here. Piece of shit. Throw that over there. And then, where is it? As I scoop my chair around noisily. Ah. Then I'm going to put you into... There, just like that. Then I'm gonna bring this... Wait, why is the camera flipped? Good, we're charging now. Good, now I won't run out of battery power. That's good. Yeah, see, well, part of the hobby, if you do the entire hobby, which not everyone does, but part of the hobby is painting. Which, I mean, I will say it's a huge pain in the ass, but being able to, like, put an army on the field and be proud of it and be like, I painted this, is really nice. Plus, if you go to a lot of, like, big tournaments, like pro tourneys, part of your score that determines your final placement in the tourney is your painting score, which is basically there's like a group of judges that come by and they look at everyone's models and they give you a score. It's not like a ranking system to my knowledge. I think it's just like a pure scoring system, other than they have to pick like a first place person, and then they add that into your cumulative score. So most tournaments, you get scored on three criteria. You get scored on how good of a general you were, and you do that by just playing games. You get scored on your painting skill, which is about usually halfway through the tournament. There's like a halftime kind of thing, where there's like an hour or 30-minute break, and you put all your armies out for display, and they will rate all your stuff. And then the final category is usually friendliness. So after every game, there's generally like a piece of paper you have to fill out privately, which is like, did you like playing your opponent? Was he nice? You know, all that stuff. Oops. God damn it. What's my preferred method? For me, I primarily prefer to, well, depending on what color you're going to be base painting. So, like, Night Haunts are a really light-colored faction, because, you know, I want to have as many details available as I can, especially because these guys are they're just very light, and I don't want a lot of dark recesses. So I spray painted them with Corax White, which is a Citadel spray. And then, but that's not always the case. Like there are all sorts of different sprays that you would use based on usually what the primary color of the model is. For instance, on my lizardmen, because I like to use black and red as my base colors for lizardmen, because I like to paint like lava themed lizards. Then for them, I spray paint them black because that fits their base color better, and it also fills in the recesses between the scales, so that you can actually see all those little details because they've been really darkened. So generally, and then after that, I'll usually apply base coats of the relevant colors, like an initial base coat, and then you slowly but surely are going to layer up from there. And then if you want to go for certain effects, then between certain layers, you need to, I don't like this song, you need to essentially use like certain inks to like change how the color works. So like one of the things I'm going to be doing is to this metal, instead of just leaving it like as this just pure silver color, which doesn't really work, I want to make it look, you know, like spooky and ethereal and demented and tortured. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I'm going to use this color, Agrex Earthshade, which is a shade, so it's super watery, and it's basically like an oil almost. And what it does is I apply it very, very lightly, like so lightly it's not even funny, onto the metal to make it look like it's been like buried or in earth, or it's been rusting. And then I'll add some lighter colors on top, which won't get through this color, but they will provide little highlights. Let's see. Do I ever get creative with my colors? Yes. Like my lizardmen are all a unique color. I just and even these ghosts are not going to look like the Games Workshop ghosts, because the Games Workshop ghosts primarily just use they use like a bunch of specific colors to build up to a blue palette, and mine are, as you can see back here, are a combination of green and blue palettes. Yeah, she's over there on the bed. And you okay, Chloe? Oh, if y'all look carefully, you can see Chloe back there behind all the paints. What was I saying? But like for my Saurus, or my Lizardman, I have my own unique color palette I use. But for these Night Haunts, I just kind of want them to look as ghostly and ghouly as possible. But this is a new effect for me. So I'm kind of using a lot of guides to try, and you know, the way my ghosts look might change over time, and that's fine. It's just I've never painted ghosts before, so with this first set, I'm going to kind of stick close to the guides, but I am going to put my own spin on it in various ways. Show the Lizardman, please. I will at the end of the stream. At the end of the stream, I'll go get one of my big models. Here's the part where I kind of become that guy, where there's a lot of details on these models that aren't viewable from topside, which is where you usually will see them, because, you know, when you play a game, you're usually looking down onto the model, rather than, like, you know, underneath or sideways. But I get driven crazy when there's, like, unpainted parts of a model. This song sucks, too. Have I ever thought of doing hot pink? No, not me. I really like dark colors. I mean, there might be a character at some point that I go with purple, but no, I'm probably just gonna go through. I'm probably just gonna go through like a blue to green spectrum on most of my models. Here, let's shake this up a little bit. So does Slash have a monopoly on pink? He doesn't have a monopoly on it. There's pink in other factions. Dark elves can get a pretty. I mean, if you're painting classical colors, all the dark elf units, like the Daughters of Cain, have a ton of pink. You can also get quite a few pink. Pink is actually more commonly seen with Zinch than Slanesh. Like, Slanesh, you do see a lot of pink, but you also see a ton of purple. Slanesh kind of runs a gambit between blue and pink, which is an interesting color palette. It gives them a really fleshy look that's kind of disturbing, honestly. Gay skating. But I mean, that's part of the attraction for most hobbyists about being able to make your own army, is that if you want to play an army of pink ghosts, then fucking go for it, man. That's the nice thing about Tabletop Warhammer, is that you can paint your army however you want. You know, if you want to paint an army of orcs where they, like, every single model has like a hidden dick butt on it, then you can do that. Or, you know, if you want to play a Nurgle army and everyone's like infected with a really specific disease, so you go with a certain color palette to make them all look like lepers, or, you know, like they have yellow fever or something, then you can go right ahead. Justin, thank you. Knowing you, it's some stupid amount. I will, well, I'll see you probably tomorrow for Dawn War stream. So we'll speak then. Have a good night, man. Thanks again. I mean, Seawolf, I knew an elf player, wood elf player, who all their horses were like My Little Ponies. And my painting skills have gotten a little sloppy, but that's why I'm painting these guys first, so I can get my skills back. And these guys, because these guys, I don't really give a shit if I have little mistakes on them. You know, no one's ever gonna look at my chain rasps up close. They're not a centerpiece. They're literally trash mobs. You know, these are the guys that if you played Diablo or an MMO, they would be the first enemies you'd fight. What's a brony? Bronies are typically nerdy middle-aged men who are a little unhealthily obsessed with My Little Pony. That's the meme. I don't know any personally. I mean, there are a lot of people who are big fans of that show. From what I understand, it is a good show. They just let's just say that their appetites for fandom get a little on the aggressive side. If you catch my drift. Oh, sorry, Brovar. Thank you for the donation, though. How do I pick questions for the Q&A series? Do I read all the comments? Yeah, so what I do for the Q&A series is I literally go to everywhere that I can remember that someone might have asked a question. So I'll go to my Discord channel. I will go to the video of the last Q&A or wherever I told people to ask questions. And I also go to my Twitter account, which is at LSotek, for anyone curious. And what I will do at that point is I will literally just copy-paste the entire page, like one question at a time, into a Word document. And then after I do that, I go through all the questions and double check for any of the questions that are like super duplicates, like exact duplicates. You know, like in the Norska video, there were a lot of people who asked variants on the, like, how does Norskan religion work? And I debated whether or not to just, like, get rid of all of them and condense them into one super question. But I decided it was easier to tackle them one at a time because... What's the last thing you say? I had to reboot the stream again. I'm not sure what's causing the app to crash. If it's like it's just too difficult for it to stream or what. Yeah, if it starts buffering, guys, it's probably because the app crashed. So just like say something in chat so I'm aware of it. Did y'all hear my full explanation of how I pick questions? Yeah, Brovar, so like for the Dwarf Q&A, I'm going to collect questions from all 3 of the Norska Q&A videos. And I'm also going to collect them from my Discord and from my Twitter. Let's do you. I lost you at condensing them. So, long story short, I gathered the questions from Twitter, my Patreon. Yes, thank you, Roland. I gathered them from Twitter, my Patreon, and my Discord, and any of the previous the previous Q&A video. And at that point, I'll look for any, like, exact duplicate questions, and if there are exact duplicates, like literally the exact same question, then I'll combine them. But I very rarely do that because I don't want anyone to feel like I'm ignoring them.
Someone strong who could protect me. I let his anger fester and infect me. His solution is a lie. No one here deserves to die except for me and the monster I created.
I was beating the devil out of it, as Bob Ross would say. God rest his soul.
And there's your final bell. It's one more dance and then farewell. Cheek to cheek and
No, Misha, that's just the music I'm listening to. At least as far as you know. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Here we go now. Veronica, Jason Dean told me you just committed suicide. Yeah, well, he's wrong about a lot of things. Well, I threw together a lovely tribute, especially considering the short notice. Miss Fleming, what's under the gym? Boiler room. That's it. Veronica, what's going on? Got no time to talk on a dead girl walks
But yeah, did any of y'all watch the news video I put up earlier this evening? I'd love to answer any questions that y'all might have about more specifics. Oops. Y'all can't see what I'm doing. There we go.
People are gonna see the ashes of Westerberg High School, and they're gonna think there's a school that self-destructed, not because society doesn't care, because that school was society. The only place that Heathers and Marthas can get along is in heaven.
I wish your mom had been a little stronger. I wish she'd stayed.
Which are the 12 races? I believe Cold Rage named all the races in the gaming channel. There was like, it was like two Tau races, 3 Eldar races, then I think the Adeptus Mechanicus, don't remember all of them, but he listed them all in chat. I guess he knows them from the original game or something, or maybe he's just good at guessing. I'm not sure.
I am damaged. Far too damaged.
Okay, don't cry, Sotek. This song fucks me up a lot of the time. It's so sad.
Make things better. You people
It's technically the death of the villain, but he's a very sympathetic villain, so it always breaks my heart when he dies.
little further.
I usually like to end on a different song and pretend that's the actual ending. Because I'm just like, "Urgh." Everything hurts.
Trade my life for yours, and once I disappear, clean up the mess down here.
Oh, Rolana, yeah, sure, I can put the battles. Actually, Rolana, one of the battles I played against Gabo practicing for the tournament, I've already put up. It's called like Sotek Slaps the Everchosen or something like that. Hey, Misha, could you dig up that link and post it in chat?
Say hi to God.
Or dig up that video? If you don't mind, if you're not too busy.
Where have you been? People are saying you killed yourself. You look like hell. I just got back. Listen up, folks. War is over. Brand new sheriffs come to town. We are done with acting evil. We will lay our weapons down. We're all damaged. We're all frightened. We're all freaks, but that's alright. We'll endure it. We'll survive it. Martha, are you free tonight? What? My date for the pep rally kind of blew me off. So, I was wondering if you're not doing anything tonight. Maybe we could.
Thanks, Misha. Who wins the tourney yesterday? Or is it not yesterday, but tomorrow tourney will be... Oh, yeah. So, wait. Is today Friday or Saturday?
No more Heathers. High school may not ever.
Today's Friday, right?
Still, I miss you.
Oh, wait, no. Today's Saturday. Yeah, so I have a tournament tomorrow morning. It's Dov's tournament.
We can be 17. We can learn how to chill.
Hey, Anna's here. Y'all give Anna some love in chat. It's mandatory. Ah, fuck. That was way too much water. And I'm sorry that last message I sent you. I realized it was kind of a weird message. I was super tired when I sent it. I don't remember what I was doing, but I responded very candidly. So I apologize for that. Normally I have a little more tact. And now we start the play over again because I have no originality. It was actually very on point. Well, I feel like I know my shit, but still. There was a wiser way to word that.
I believe I'm a good person. You know, I think that there's good in everyone, but here we are, first day of senior year. And I look around at these kids that I've known all my life, and I ask myself, what happened? Slut, burnout, buggers, poser,
Good job, Brovar.
we were so tiny, happy and shiny, playing tag and getting chased. Break, slut, loser, short bus.
Statues will be built in her honor or death.
Eating paste. Bulldog, stuck up, hunchback. Then we got bigger, that was the trigger, like the Huns invading Rome. Oh, sorry. Welcome to my school, this ain't no high school, this is the Thunderdome. Hold your breath and count the days, we're graduating soon. White trash, college will be paradise if I'm not dead by June.
Oh, poor Brovar. Oh man. There's nothing worse than like poking fun at someone and they just like fold underneath it. They're just like, oh god, yeah, you're right. You're like, I didn't mean it like that. Don't take it so personally. Painting with metallics is such a bitch. Because you do need to water them to make sure the coat is thin. But you gotta make it... Yet, like, it has to be thick enough so that it properly applies. It has to be thin enough that it doesn't, like, absorb all the detail. Watch it. And set this place ablaze. What am I doing here? Okay.
What did you say to me, skink?
Nothing.
Johnny Slicer, thank you again for the $1.99 donation. What's my favorite team in Blood Bowl? Oh, what's my favorite mixed team? My favorite mixed team is, I think is like one of the order teams. If I were allowed to play any mixed team I wanted, I would do a Lizardman Dwarf mix in a fucking heartbeat. And it would be, like, I would literally take, like, Dwarf Longbeards, Saurus, a Croxagore, and then maybe, like, one or two other Dwarf units. Or, like, 2 Slayers. And I would just beat people to death. I mean, I like metallics, I just don't like working with them. Like, the way they look is great, but they're so finicky. It's really easy to accidentally, like, make metallics too watery or not watery enough. And it's just been a long time since I've painted, so I don't remember my ratios by hand. I have to, like, think about it. Yeah, that looks good. Thankfully, most of the Nighthawns aren't in chains. It's just this unit. Because if every single Nighthawn had chains on them, I probably would take them back and return them for a different faction. Either that, or I would just be like, okay, the metal's ethereal now. Like, I don't want to hear shit. Oh, y'all want to see something cool? So my
And then there's the Heather.
sea wolf. Son of a bitch. Is Chloe on stream? She is, if you look really carefully. Here. Let's do this. Chloe! What are you doing? Chat wants to know if you were on stream. You okay? Hey. Go back to sleep. I'm sorry. You can go back to sleep now. She looks so mad. Ugh. Yeah, she likes when I paint. She just hangs out in here.
If I sat at their table, guys would notice me. I'd like them to be nicer. That would be beautiful.
I'd like to kidnap a Heather and photograph her naked in an abandoned warehouse and leave her tied up for the rats.
Grow up, Heather. Bulimia is so 87. Maybe you should see a doctor, Heather. Yeah, Heather. Maybe I should. Heather. Perhaps you didn't hear the bell over all the vomiting. You're late for class. Heather wasn't feeling well. We're helping her. Not at all. Fats you're not. Weeks detention. Actually, Miss Fleming, all four of us are.
Ooh, those are some beautiful chains. I'm gonna fuck them up later. Not fuck them up, like intentionally. I'm gonna fuck them up.
Hurry up and get where you're going. This is excellent. Who are you?
What did hold on. What did she post? I have to see this.
Let me sit at your table.
Have a good one, Johnny. What the fuck is this? It's Irish folk rock. Oh man, don't even get me started on Irish music. I will start playing stuff and I will be stuck here for hours. One of my good friends is of Irish descent, and his family has like they host music festivals like on a 3-month basis, and they are super fun. I haven't been to one in a little while, but there's always just tons of singing and drinking and eating involved. It was freaking ridiculous. It was like a festival. Turn is of Irish descent. I think Turn's a little more distantly removed from his lineage than my friend is. My friend's pretty Irish. He's a little more on the nose Irish. You know, red curly hair. And his old man is super Irish. Wonderful guy though. My players just burned an inn full of families. Well, Cold Rage was... Did the families have good loot? That's how you guilt trip them. Whenever your players, like, become murder hobos, one of the easiest ways to punish them is to, like, be like, oh man, you missed out on, like, all this amazing loot you could have had if you had just, like, not done that super shitty thing. Alternatively... Cold Rage, you can make one of the dads survive and have him turn into fucking like what's his face from Taken, where he just like hunts the party down, is like a super badass, and they just have to like run for their lives as he like lays traps and tries to kill them all. I really like to punish players for being murder hobos. I had a party that was super murder hobo-ish because one of their members was a dwarf rune lord or a runesmith, and he was like practically invincible. And he was being all snarky about it because he just kept plowing through events rather than thinking. So I was like, fuck it, and I made them fight a giant. And the thing about giants is that if you have low agility, they will do colossal amounts of damage to you. He got so fucked up. He was so mad. It was great. Like, he was just trying to chank, but every time the giant fell, he couldn't dodge out of the way fast enough, so it would fall on him and, like, break one of his legs. It was great. Misha, would you mind posting the donation link again? Just like on a 30-minute timer. If, you know, or I'll just remember to remind you. That's fine too. The Streamlabs link that I posted earlier, I should say. All you have to do is say goodbye to Shamu. That freak's not your friend. I can tell in the end she will leave you to rot. You don't care, fine, go braid her hair. Maybe Sesame Street is on roll. What are you up to, Anna? What would happen if you found Scottish that got stuck on the roof? What? That doesn't make sense. What would happen if I found Scottish stuck on the roof? If I found a Scotsman stuck on my roof? Is that what you're asking me? I feel like my knee-jerk reaction would be to ask how he got up there, and then he would start talking, and I'd have no fucking idea what he was saying. Because if there's one thing I've learned about Scots in the very few times that I've dealt with them, it's that either you can understand them perfectly, or you can't understand a single fucking thing they say. It is one or the other. It's like one extreme or another extreme. There is no middle ground with Scots. Is time travel allowed in Warhammer RPG via an artifact or something like that? Not explicitly, but you could make it work. It is possible, yes. It's pretty finicky, though. Time travel in Warhammer is pretty dangerous. It's very explicit that you cannot change the events that have occurred. Age of Sigmar kind of shares a similar story. Time travel is possible, but if you time travel in Warhammer, all you're doing is like causing whatever happened to happen. You can't change what happened. But there are some wizards who possess abilities that allow them to time travel for the sake of gathering information. That is not entirely impossible. It does happen, though very rarely. As I was saying, you can travel through time, but the amount of magic it would require to do it would almost certainly either cause horrible ramifications or at least attract the notice of demons. Does Tzeentch hate time travelers? No, not really. I mean, if anything, Tzeentch would love time travelers because they're trying to cause change. And he would fuck with them so hard. I mean, that's the whole deal with Kairos Fate Weavers. That was Tzeentch trying to control time. And Kairos is kind of what he ended up with instead. Kairos was an experiment, essentially. Because Zinch literally just shoved him into this place in the realm of chaos where all things happen. It's like a repertoire of all the knowledge in the universe.
Been through 10 high schools, they start to get blurry. No point planning routes, cause you're gone in a hurry. My dad keeps 2 suitcases packed in the dirt, so it's only a matter of when. I don't learn the names, don't bother with faces. All I can trust is this concrete oasis. Seems every time I'm about to despair.
That being said, it's always up to the GM's discretion. I mean, if the GM's like, yeah, no, you can totally go back in time and fix things, then there you go. I mean, Warhammer is essentially the crossroads between a lot of different fantasy universes, so it's not really a big deal to incorporate other ideas into it, so long as you don't go too hog wild.
Freeze your brain. Suck on that straw, get lost in the pain. Happiness comes when everything numbs. Who needs cocaine? Freeze your brain. Freeze.
The stream is gone forever? Why is that?
Does your mommy know you eat all that crap?
Not anymore. When mom was alive.
Yeah, just hit refresh.
Now it's just me and my dad. We're less formal. I learned to cook pasta. I learned to pay rent. Learn the world.
Yeah, it's still up.
You ascend. You're planning your future. Veronica Sawyer. You'll go to college.
Kagu,
Be a lawyer.
I don't have an Instagram.
When it falls. So
Hopefully you didn't just come here to plug yourself.
freeze your brain. Swim in the ice. Get lost in the pain. Shut your eyes tight.
I need to get caught up on If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speak Device. I'm super behind. I haven't watched an episode in a really long time.
Shatter your skull, fight pain with more pain. Forget who you are, unburden your load. Forget in 6 weeks, you'll be back on the road. With the voice in your head, says you're better off dead. Don't open a vein. Just freeze your brain.
Well, I mean, I'm fine allowing self-promotion in certain circumstances. If somebody's, like, earned it and they clearly, like, are part of the community. Like, that doesn't bother me. But if someone, like, literally walks in and hasn't said anything else other than, hey, come check out my Instagram, well, it's like, well, how about... no. Any top 5 creatures in Warhammer video? What? I mean, I've been doing top 5 videos with Anna. Speaking of which, Anna, did you want to record tonight? You probably responded to my message, but I haven't been able to check my Discord while I've been streaming. Or painting. Or both.
Okay, so it's salt, and then lime, and then shot.
No, it's salt, then
You're
shot.
doing it wrong. Wait, really? Because I feel great.
Veronica, you are looking good tonight.
Whoa.
A hot guy smiled at me without a trace of mockery.
Good job, Misha. Doing your job well.
Stoned, I should
That's okay, Anna. I was just checking.
wanna hit.
You okay?
Coming true when people laugh. Not at you. I'm not alone. I'm not afraid. I feel like Bono at Live Aid. The house is ours. It's time for big fun. Big fun. Let's use their showers. Let's sound like big fun. Big fun. Crackle. Big. One more case. I think that's what they call third base. Big fun. Big fun. Big fun. It actually looks like big fun. Big fun. Big fun. Woo!
R.I.P.
Hey,
Where are you, little pricks? I'm
you
coming
okay?
for you.
Can you just scoot closer?
Need your help.
You okay, Chloe?
Thanks, Heather, but I don't really have to vomit right now.
Alright. Just checking on you.
It's time for big fun. You need a gentle shot. We're having big fun.
Are the dump truck in the flesh? Here comes the cootie squad. You should shut up, Heather. Sorry, Heather. Look who's with her. Oh my god. Dang, dang, diggity, dang, 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 diggity, dang, dang. I can't believe you actually came. It's exciting, right? Oh, I want to say hello to Ram. I brought sparkling cider. Showing up here took some guts. Time.
How many ghosty things does it take? So for the chain rasps, you need at least 20 of them, I think. Or no, I think you need at least 10 of them. But for the way their rules work, optimally you want to have 40 of them.
I wasn't gonna come.
Which is a pain because Games Workshop is selling them at kind of a weird... they're selling them in a weird number, like 20 or 25. But they charge way too fucking much for these guys. These guys are super expensive considering how simple they are. I probably won't buy these models from Games Workshop. I'll probably buy them from people who don't want them on like eBay. Because they are charging a ludicrous amount of money for chain rasps. Oops. You wish you had enough to buy a Warhammer unit? I mean, some of them are cheap. You can get cheap models. Especially if you use, like, eBay or if you use websites that have discounts. Like, there's one website, I think it's Warlord or something like that, Warlord Shipping. But you can get models for, like, 30 to 50% off. Any top five videos video? No. The Green Man urban legend? That sounds vaguely familiar, but I'm not sure. Shoot. Damn, that was a bad slip. Seawolf, typically solo models, if you buy them directly from Games Workshop, you can get them in the ballpark of 15 to 20 bucks. If you order from like your local game store, they usually will have somewhere between 15 to 25% discounts, depending on what their relationship with Games Workshop is, which is weird because you figure Games Workshop would offer incentives for you to buy from their direct stores. But it's the opposite, which is really weird. Rolana, that would depend a lot on what army you collect.
Dear world, believe it
But things like tanks are way more expensive than characters.
the way loneliness stop. I hid behind smiles and crazy hot clothes. I learned to kiss boys with my tongue.
That's good.
But oh, the world it held
Me down like a concrete ground. No one thinks a pretty girl has feelings.
No one gets her insecurity. I am more than shoulder pads and makeup. No one sees the
You know, it figures that when I'm painting the chains, like, inside this guy, like, way back there, I don't fuck up and hit anything on accident. And then when I'm painting, like, right here by the bottom of his fucking cloak, I spill all over the goddamn place.
Is it murder? No, look. Here's a suicide note.
They couldn't see past my rock star mystique. They wouldn't dare look in my eyes.
So I'm going to go ahead and touch him up while that's fresh on my mind.
Things to her pillow and
Which means I need White Star.
were just like prison bars. It led me a myriad of scars.
Seawolf, it's not a cheap hobby.
One thing some
Um,
girl has substance.
that being said, if you're wanting to think, if you're even thinking about getting into it, you should not, under any circumstances, be like, okay, I'm going to build an army from scratch. Because the cost is going to scare you off. What you should do instead is look into one of the side games, like Shadespire, or
I sent the kids home before lunch and the switchboard.
Shadespire, or
Are dying. I suggest
the Silver Tower, or
heal together.
Thank you, Miss Lemon.
whatever that Kill Team, if you want to do 40k. Those would be the places to start. Ew, gross. These white colors do not remix easily. Why is it so expensive? Carl Franz, the reason it's mainly so expensive is because A, the printing factories are in England, and B, the models are incredibly high detail. Games Workshop has some of the best prints in the world when it comes to modeling. Unfortunately, that costs money. Where is what I'm looking for?
Everybody!
Is that really the best White Scar I have? Deepkin Flesh, Dorn, Lamenters, Xandri Dust, Dorthor Brown, Rhinox Hide, Shabti Brown, Ironarch Skin, Rackhearth Flesh. Yeah, okay, I need to... Oh yeah, if you're wanting to get into Warhammer or Age of Sigmar or 40k, I could not highly enough recommend do not buy your models from Games Workshop. Buy them somewhere else. Look on eBay and you can find some really good deals. Look on Amazon and check out to see if you have any local stores that sell Games Workshop products, because they'll usually have a significant discount. Never, ever, ever buy from Games Workshop directly unless you're trying to support the store. That's the only reason. Is it possible to buy a custom army designed from scratch? Do you mean like models? If so, then no. What you're thinking of is called kit bashing. Which kit bashing is when you buy a bunch of kits and there's usually extra parts in them. Like parts you won't use because you didn't build a certain kind of unit. Or, you know, something like that. And what you do is you take all the bits from all the different races and you slam them all together to make stuff. What about Forge World? I would really not recommend buying from Forge World, but unfortunately, Forge World is the only place you can get Forge World models. Forge World kind of has you by the balls. Hey, Mike Perry. Do you think everyone should start using space hoppers to get around instead of cars because space hoppers are more environmentally friendly? What the hell is a space hopper?
Don't talk to me like that. You'll hurt their feelings. You make my balls so blue.
Okay, finally, this is good enough I can work with now.
Balls so blue. They're hanging sadly. What did they do to you? That you hate them so? Don't run from me. They're all beat up like a tackling dummy.
Where did I spill silver everywhere? There it is.
They're warm like mittens. They'll curl up on your face and purr like kittens. You make my balls so blue. Just look at them.
I should really be using my small detail brush for this, but screw it.
Don't make my balls.
Too late now.
Heather, open the door.
Oh no, oh no, no, no.
Open the door.
Oh no, oh no.
You make my balls so blue. So please say hello. Hold on and hold up and never let go.
Wow.
Once you were geeky and nerdy when they knew you're dirty. You set them on fire. Whatever you require, they'll do. So take them home to meet your parents. They'll wear a suit and tie and a fancy collar. They'll sing a lullaby. La 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 la. Please make these balls not blue. Just for a while. Wait till later. My pants are rubbing like a hot cheese razor.
Look, booze, drink.
Thank you so much. They will
Protect you, and you, respect you,
befriend you.
like Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh.
Baby, baby, they're so blue. My balls are blue for you. They will obey ya. They really need rescue. Like Princess Leia. Baby, you got to come through. Teach them to smile. Please help them through. My balls are in your court.
Nothing like trying to fix all the fuck ups you realized you made. Normally I wouldn't bother on models like this, but fuck it. I'm just a little too anal to ignore it. Make these balls not blue. Okay. We'll let that dry, and then we'll hit those spots with a little dab of Hexwraith Flame to make sure they look nice and spooky and ghostly. And we'll go from there. Yeah, because this guy just... I just got silver in some places I didn't want to. So I will put him over here, so he is separate. Alright, and then back to Lead Belcher.
But when the morning comes, we'll burn it down and then we'll build the world again. Our love is gone.
What the hell is going on in chat?
I was alone. I was a frozen lake.
What time is it in the United States? Where I live, it's 11:50, so it's almost midnight. So I probably will be not going for too much longer. Maybe knock out another model or two. No, Rolana, most tournaments don't care what you bring, as long as it's very clear what is what. As long as everything is very apparent and you don't like try and change your list or pull some bullshit like that, nobody cares. The only tournaments you have to watch out for are tournaments that are called WYSIWYG, which WYSIWYG tournaments are what you see is what you get. So that means if you're like, okay, I have 30 guys with axe and shield, and in this other unit I have 30 guys with twin axes, then they have to have these 30 with axe and shield, these 30 with twin axes. If you have like all of them with axe and shield, but you're like, well, I'm going to run this unit different. A WYSIWYG tournament, they'd be like, no, that's, you can't do that.
trade my life for yours. They all will disappear. We'll plant our garden here. Our love is God.
Our love is God.
Our love is God.
Our love is God.
Whoa. Is that real? Yeah. But we're filling it with E-glue. What? Dad scored them in World War II. They contain this powerful tranquilizer. The Nazis used them to fake their own suicides when the Russians invaded Berlin. We will use them to knock, hurt, and ram out just enough to make it look like a suicide.
I just had my mind blown a little bit. Okay.
Ram and I died because we had to hide our gay, forbidden love from a misapproving world. And when the morning comes, they'll both be laughing stocks. So let's go hunt some jocks.
Be careful around Justin, Anna. He's a little memey.
So we just like whip it out or what?
Slow around. Strip for me.
Keep an eye on that one.
I was hoping you could rip my clothes off on the sport.
Yeah, we can do that.
Count of 3.
1, 2, 3. Holy crap! Stay there, I'll get him. Kurt! Kurt! You got my best friend!
Ram?
Why are you chasing me?
He's unconscious, right, Ram?
I was just kidding about
Ram!
Get off the fence! Get off the damn fence! I don't understand!
Can start and finish wars. Hear what killed the dinosaurs.
We're the
Asteroids that overdue. The dinosaurs are turned to dust. They died because we said they must. That oboe. Perfect.
I worship you. I trade my life for yours. We'll make them disappear. We'll plant our garden here. Our love is God. 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 Our love is God.
You know what, though? If we're coming to the end of the stream, we gotta step things up a level.
You wait just a minute, Paul. It is ignorant, hateful talk like yours that makes
Whoops.
this world a place our boys could not live in. They were not dirty. They were not wrong.
Hey, shut up. Alright, hit it, boys.
Dear Evan Hansen, we've been way too
What? No, I don't want the fucking female cover. Fucking Jesus. Ah. Here we go.
Dear Evan Hansen, we've been way too out of touch.
And my brush dried out again. Damn it.
Things have been crazy, and it sucks that we don't talk that much. But I should tell you that I think of you each night. I rub my nipples and start boning with delight.
Why would you write that?
I'm just trying to tell the truth.
This needs to be perfect. These emails have to prove that we were actually friends. I'll do it.
I gotta tell you, life without ya has been hard, has been bad, has been rough.
Kinky.
And I miss talking about life and other stuff.
Very specific.
Shut up.
I like my parents. Who says that? I look like...
But each day is another fight. If I stop smoking drugs, then everything might be alright.
Smoking drugs. Just face it.
I stop smoking crack.
Crack?
If I stop smoking pot, then everything might be alright. I'll take your advice. I'll try to be more nice. I'll turn it around. Wait and see. 'Cause all that it takes is a little reinvention. It's easy to change if you give it your attention. All you gotta do is just believe you can be who you wanna be. Sincerely.
Are we done yet? Well, I can't just give them one email. I want to show that I was, like, a good friend, you know? Oh, my God. Dear Connor Murphy, yes, I also miss our talks. Stop doing drugs, just try to take deep breaths and go on walks. I'm sending pictures of the most amazing trees. You'll be obsessed with all my forest expertise. Absolutely not. I'm proud of you. Just keep pushing. You're turning around. I can see. Just wait and see. 'Cause all that it takes is a little reinvention. It's easy to change if you give it your attention. All you gotta do is just believe you can be who you wanna be. Sincerely.
My sister's hot.
What the hell?
My bad. Reverend Hanson, thanks for every note you sent.
Dear Connor Murphy, I'm just glad to be your friend. Our friendship goes beyond your average kind of bond, but not because we're gay.
No, not because we're gay.
We're close, but not that way. The only man that I love is my dad.
Well, anyway.
You're getting better every day. You're getting better every day. 'Cause all that it takes is a little reinvention. It's easy to change if you give it your attention. All you gotta do is just believe you can be who you wanna be. Sincerely, miss you dearly. Sincerely me. Sincerely me. Sincerely me. Sincerely me.
Dear Evan Hansen, we've been way too out of touch. Things have been crazy, and it sucks that we don't talk that much. But I should tell you that I think of you each night. I rub my nipples and start moaning with delight.
Why would you write that?
I'm just trying to tell the truth.
This needs to be perfect. These emails have to prove that we were actually friends. I'll do it.
I gotta tell you, life without ya has been hard, has been bad, has been rough. I miss talking about life and other stuff.
Very specific. Shut up.
I like my parents.
Who says that?
I love my parents, but each day's another fight. If I stop smoking drugs, then everything might be alright.
Smoking drugs. Just face it.
If I stop smoking crack. If I stop smoking pot, then everything might be alright. I'll take your advice. I'll try to be more nice. I'll turn it around. Wait and see. 'Cause all that it takes is a little reinvention. It's easy to change if you give it your attention. All you gotta do is just believe you can be who you wanna be. Sincerely me.
Are we done yet? Well, I can't just give them one email. I want to show that I was, like, a good friend, you know? Oh, my God. Dear Connor Murphy, yes, I also miss our talks. Stop doing drugs, just try to take deep breaths and go on walks. I'm sending pictures of
Yo, chat, lighten up the mood a little bit. I look over there and I'm seeing everybody talking about nightmares and all sorts of other nonsense. Chin up, kiddos.
You're turning around, I can see. Just wait and see. 'Cause all that it takes is a little reinvention.
if supernatural things do exist, the only thing I can tell you about them for sure is that if they are real, they can't affect this plane. From my experience and my research on this Earth, the only thing I can tell you is that the scariest thing on Earth is natural disasters and people. Also Alzheimer's. That's scary. You're fine. No one's in trouble. I just don't want to see all... Here's the thing. When people talk about, like, dark subjects, I always advise caution, because people kind of... When people talk about dark things, they tend to be a little bad about circling the drain, so to speak. Like, they get on the topic and they can't break free. I don't think I have a real opinion one way or the other if they exist or not. I've seen interesting evidence of both. Of them being fake and them being real. I know my mother very sincerely believes that there's an afterlife and there are ways to reach across. That being said, don't get me wrong, I have respect for stories about spooky things. Just because I say and realize, you know, at my basic level, that it's irrational and that these things cannot possibly exist, I like to err on the side of caution. You know, if someone tells me a location's haunted, I'm just not going to go there. Not because I genuinely believe there's something there, but because I don't want to risk it there genuinely being something there. Justin, I saw that, just for the record. Time and place, man. Time and place. Oh, Lord. Y'all are crazy. What the fuck am I listening to? Oh, okay, I know the song. Justin is not a man of the people, he's a man of memes. That's all he cares about. He embraces the dankness, for better or worse. He gives my mods something to do though, so that's always good. He's a good test to see if they're paying attention. Just a sprinkle of water. Boop. I really need to set aside some time soon to watch through Hamilton play, because I'm a big fan of musicals and I keep hearing shit about it. No spoilers, please. But it's one of those things I need to make time for. God, getting the grain out of the cracks of these chains is fucking ridiculously hard. It's like the color is like that green color, so the Hexwraith flame really does a good job of settling deep down in those recesses, and it's hard to make sure the silver overwhelms it. Oh, Anna, you weren't here earlier. Oh man. I mean, here's the thing. I grew up as a classical musician, and musicals tend to bridge this really interesting gap between like modern music and classical music. And the singers, oh my god. Like the leading ladies in most musical plays, I would not even hesitate. Not even hesitate if given the offer, if you know what I mean. There we go. Get out of there, Hexwraith.
It's not my fault. I'm not to blame. It is the gypsy girl, the witch who set this flame. It's not my fault. Giving God's bed. He made
Oh, duly noted, Justin.
so much stronger than a man. Take me, Maria. Don't let this siren cast her spell. Don't let her fire sear my flesh and bone.
You'll sing Phantom of the Opera? Are you a singer, Anna? Am I a coffee or tea guy? Neither. I prefer water. Speaking of which, I haven't drank water in way too long. There we go, much better. I have not found any tea or coffee that I have enjoyed. I suspect my soda addiction has a lot to play with that, in that if something doesn't have a considerable amount of sugar in it, it is not tasty to me. Don't drink soda, kids. It will fucking ruin your palate. All I know is when I have kids, they're fucking not drinking soda in my house, I'll tell you that. That shit's the devil. It's addictive and it's shit for you. I wish I had the strength of will to stop drinking it. You howl like a raccoon pulled by the tail. That's amazing. I sang a decent amount back in the day. I have not sung in quite some time. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't amazing either. I mean, I was definitely better at instrumental than I was at vocal. But I studied choir and things like that for a while. YouTube, you are taking an interesting direction. This song is a cover of The Plagues from the Prince of Egypt movie, which is a fan-fucking-tastic movie. Doesn't matter if you're religious or not, that movie is great. It's just very well made, and the music is surprisingly high quality. Do I listen to soundtracks? Duh. What kind of question is that? I have a... You know what? I think it's right behind me. Is it? It should be. Yeah, hold on. Let me finish this. Let me finish this chain, and then I'll see if I can find something. Ooh, this is one of my favorites. This vocal singer, she added lyrics to the Davy Jones song from Pirates of the Caribbean, the like lullaby song. Fucking nails it. When I was younger, when I was a teenager, I was one of those, what I think they call, the fuck is that shit? Get that out of here. I was what they, I think, call nowadays a nice guy. You know, that whole concept of someone who is, like, recklessly in love with something to the point of obsession and really struggles to not understand no. Because the thing is, I think a lot of what people don't understand is that when you're growing up, you don't just know things. You know, it's not like you grow up with a strong sense of like, here's how you handle rejection, or here's how you learn to cope with the fact that you have physical attraction to someone, but, you know, they don't like you back. Like, nobody fucking teaches you that shit. You're just expected to know. And if you don't, well, tough shit, kid. Apparently. Like, I don't hate those guys. Well, I know a lot of people just hate them. I don't. I pity them. Because I was there once. You know, and it's not like when you're one of those guys, you know, you're not doing it because you're cruel or because, you know, you're full of anger, you think women are lesser than you or something. You just don't understand. Like, you genuinely don't understand. You know, you watch and consume media that tells you over and over and over again. It's like, just be her best friend, and when the time comes, she'll, you know, see you that way. And, you know, all you have to do is be patient, and all you have to do is be her hero, and all you have to do is fight off the bad guys, and always be there for her, and be a shoulder to cry on. That's not how it fucking works. Not at all how it works. Don't do that. If you want to be friends with someone because you like them as a friend and you enjoy their presence. If you like someone, then fucking do something about it. Say something. Confess. And if she doesn't like you back, then you have to make a decision. You know, it's like, do you need space? Do you need to take a vacation? Do you need to, you know, go to a strip club? Do you need to drink? Like, what do you got to do, man, to get over this hump? And, you know, at that point, you got to decide, you know, you're like, do I still want to be friends with this person? You know, another thing that makes me mad is there's so many guys out there who are like, I like this girl. Like, I genuinely like her. But I'm scared to tell her I'm scared to tell her anything because, like, it'll ruin our friendship. And, like, well, here's the thing, bro. Like, if you just keep silent and don't say shit, you're also gonna ruin you're also gonna ruin that friendship, and it's just gonna be a lot bloodier and mangled, and it's just gonna be horrible for everyone involved. So just fucking shut the fuck up and just get it over with, you know? It's like, don't let that shit fester because you're gonna become so bitter. Like, I remember growing up, and I remember how angry I used to get when I would be courting, so to speak, a girl, and you know, like I would be a best friend and all this other shit, and she like wouldn't date me, you know, and not only would she not date me, but she'd go date these other guys who are just these fucking colossal assholes. Um, and I didn't understand why. You know, that's what it always boiled down to is I didn't understand. It was like, what am I doing wrong? And here's the thing, man. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. Like that's the thing that always makes me so sad for those guys is they sit there and they're like, "Oh, she doesn't like me because, you know, I'm ugly or I'm not fit enough or I said something wrong." Yada yada yada. It's like, "Nah, man. I mean, you didn't do anything wrong to make her not like you. And there's nothing you can do right to make her like you. It either happens or it doesn't. And that's okay. Like, it's okay for someone not to like you. Justin, somehow that doesn't surprise me. Coming from you. And everybody's different. You know? I haven't dated in a long time. And it's honestly because the last time I pursued a girl, I got way too... I don't think desperate's the right word, but I got way too involved in her life. And I let my life fall apart. So, I mean, this anxiety disorder I have where I really struggle to feel like I can breathe sometimes. And I'm, like, really scared of being by myself and all this stuff. This started because of that friendship, that relationship. You know, I was so stressed out over trying to fix her life that, you know, she never wanted to date me. She never saw me that way. She always saw me as a brother. But I was a dumbass, and I took that as a challenge or as a bad thing instead of being like learning to be okay with it or choosing to leave. You know, that's another thing you can decide. It's like if you confess to a girl and she doesn't like you back, you can leave, bro. It's totally okay. You're not evil if you realize you like someone and you confess your feelings to them and they're like, "Sorry, I don't feel that way about you." And you're like, "Okay, well, you know, this isn't going to work for me then." Like, you know, I have these feelings and I don't want to deal with you know, having to deal with them every time I see you. So at least either until I figure this out or maybe permanently, you know, I'm just going to go do my own thing now. And that's okay. That does not make you a bad person. It's going to suck for you and for her, but you know what? I would rather you do that than sit around and just suffer. Do not take Justin's advice. Do not take take that with a grain of salt. There's a time and a place. Time and a place. Yeah, that's fine, Great Book of Grudges. I think there's a lot of guys and girls out there who aren't in the dating sphere because they're like, nope, I'm not ready for that yet. You know, I don't have my life in a place where that's comfortable. Misha, if I start sounding like an idiot, you tell me so I can change the subject. But, you know, I like sharing about my life. I'm one of those people. I like sharing my mistakes so that maybe y'all can avoid them. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I have a very, very good friend who I fell for after we became friends. And I told her, and she was like, I'm sorry, you know, I don't see you that way. And I think I took like a year break, and I came back. Like, I literally took a break for a year. You know, I told her, I was like, all right, like, I respect your decision. I need to take some time for me. And she was like, okay. So she respected my distance, and I went and did my own thing for a year. And then when I was ready, I went back, and now we're still good friends years later. Life's too short, man. Life's too short to fucking like get infatuated with some person that doesn't like you. That's the thing that really upsets me about those guys. You know, they get so convinced that that girl is the one. It's like, no, she isn't, dude. You just need to get out more. Like, go do stuff. Go do stuff and meet other people and find someone who genuinely likes you. You don't want to date somebody that doesn't like you. They're just going to resent you the entire time, and that's going to suck. It's like, have you ever been forced to do a group project with that one dude in class who you just think's a complete asshole? And he doesn't like, either he's too annoying and that he's constantly trying to be up in everyone's business, or he's annoying because he doesn't help out at all and everything's just falling apart because he's a dick and won't help out. That'll be your life. That'll be your entire life. So don't do that. Be better. Be smarter. Relationships are hard, and they take practice, they take communication, they take experience. You're not always going to be right, and you're going to be wrong a lot of the time, and that's okay. It's just life. We make mistakes so that we can learn to be better. Just try not to fuck up too bad, especially in today's culture. Hey, turn bar. Hold on, what did he say? Oh. If y'all have any questions or want to talk about anything, I am more than happy to indulge. I'm off my box for now. I really want to finish this fucking I hate this club. Because instead of being like a metal weapon like an axe or a mace, this club has like 3 bands of metal, so you have to paint each of the bands. Which is fine, it's not a huge deal because I'm gonna paint the stick later, so I don't mind if I spill a little bit. It's just annoying. Yeah, but I'll tell you, I really want to start dating again. Honest to God. But I don't know where to go anymore. Oh, man. I have no idea where to meet women anymore. Things have changed so much in the last 5 years. It's like fucking crazy. I don't know what the fuck people are doing nowadays. I think the dating apps age had just started the last time I was in college, or not in college, but I was at like a university where that was like a viable option. Gross. You know, if you wouldn't lick yourself so much, you wouldn't eat so much hair, and then you wouldn't cough everywhere. You know that? Fucking dog. Great Book of Grudges, as much as I appreciate your input on whether I am or am not ready to do anything in life, I'll take a check on that. Nice of you to offer your words, but I think I know myself better. Grovar, I have a sneaking suspicion you're not my type. Can I date with the anxiety thing? Yes. Yes, I can. Here's the thing. My anxiety gets much, 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 much worse when I'm alone. Funny enough, when you go to treatment for my kind of anxiety disorder, one of the things they really encourage you to do is find a healthy relationship. Like most people with my condition that get into a relationship start to really feel a lot better because they're not alone anymore. You know, they have someone who is very invested in their existence. And it's amazing how different life can be if you find someone, whether it's a friend or family member or whatever. When you find someone that genuinely cares about you, it's amazing how big of an impact that will make on your life. That's why I live with my family. If I wanted to, I could easily buckle, well, no, not easily, but I could buckle down, get a minimum wage job at like anywhere around here, and, you know, move into an okay apartment down the street and live by myself. But I don't want to do that. It would suck. I'd hate it. My anxiety would get a lot worse because I'd be by myself. I mean, at least I've got a retard over here. Ah, fuck. Justin, I don't. I mean, technically, you could say I have boobs. I would not be able to argue that. I wouldn't appreciate it, but I wouldn't be able to argue it technically. But they're not the good kind. They're the hey, bro, you really need to hit the chest lifts kind. Okay, so I had to change my phone onto a actually good charger because I was charging on my phone and that was no longer working. But in order to have the charger here, I'm going to have to put the camera over here, so y'all are going to get to watch Chloe instead of watching the paint because I can't get the camera to work on the paint. So yeah, y'all are just going to get to watch the dog, and hopefully the phone charger can keep up. If it crashes again, then we will be done for the night because I can't get the stream to work on my laptop. So you just get to watch Chloe Bear. Next time, I'll be sure my phone's at 100% before we do a stream. Because it was only at 30% when we started. And even charging it on the laptop was not able to keep up. Okay, this guy's done. As someone asked earlier, is alcohol a good solution to anxiety? No. No, it is not. You should never, ever, 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 ever drink alcohol if you have severe anxiety, like me. Because one of two things is going to happen. Either A, it's going to make your... Gross. It's going to make your anxiety a gajillion times worse, and you're going to have a huge attack, and you're going to regret everything in your life, and might do something really stupid. Or B... you will feel amazing and normal for once in a long time, which will cause you to likely come to be dependent on alcohol, and you begin to abuse it and will make very unhealthy choices in life, and you'll either become an alcoholic and have to get treatment for that, and getting off it will be even harder, or you'll die. So I would say, long story short, no. Try not to drink alcohol if you're anxious. Yeah, Taryn, you remember that part where I said you'll end up dying? That's kind of applicable. Take it from me. Actually, I haven't ever drank, so maybe I'm not actually the best person to give advice on that. But hey, Rasta888. Hey, Magua Man. I'm only going to paint one more model, and then we're going to call it. So probably like another 20 minutes. So if you want to talk about anything with me, now's your chance. And sometimes when you're looking over a model after you've finished like a paint color, you just look at it and you're like, how the fuck did I get like this color on this spot? Like there's nothing even close to that spot. What animals do I fear? Animals? I mean, none really. I wouldn't say there's an animal that if I like saw it, I'd be like, oh shit, and like run for my life. There are animals that I'm very respectful of, and that's pretty much all of them. I am very, very respectful of big cats, especially like mountain lions and stuff, because we have a few of those in the area. I don't like to mess with anything that I think could beat me in a fight. I'll put it that way. Yeah, I wouldn't say there's anything that I'm terrified of. I just have a very healthy respect for a lot of things and will not mess with them. I don't want them to mess with me. What about sharks? I don't think sharks are that scary. Don't get me wrong, I don't even like the ocean at all. Like if I never saw the ocean again for my entire existence, I would not be upset. I'm not an ocean person. I don't like the beach. It's hot and gross. And there's sand. And everything just sucks. Everything sucks. There we go. That's what I wanted. Alright, let's see if we can get one more spooky boy in. Yeah, if you legit have anxiety, like Nietzsche said, please seek professional help. Find someone who's studied what you're suffering from for, maybe 4 to 8 years in college, if not more, and then has also spent another 10 to 20 years practicing. That's generally a good rule of thumb. I don't mind dogs. That being said, just like I said with like big cats and fish and stuff, or like large, fish with teeth, or places where I know there are fish with teeth, I am super respectful of anything big. Like dogs, here's the thing. Dogs can be aggressive. That's why you have to be careful around them, and you have to really show them respect. Chloe's a good girl. Chloe's a great girl. But I do not, but I treat her, she's very spoiled. And she's also a very gentle creature. But like when she was young, Chloe was a fucking pill. She liked to jump on people, and she's really big. She may not look like it, but she easily is about 5'11" or 6 foot on her hind legs, and she would like to jump on people and run at you and all this other stuff. And we had to just we had to train that behavior out of her. And that's the thing. Most dogs don't know what makes humans uncomfortable, and they won't know unless the person who's raising them teaches them. And I don't trust most people to be good dog owners. When I meet a dog, I always err on the side of caution and assume it's a dipshit animal that's very scared and is going to try and hurt me to protect itself, unless I make it feel calm. Even if it's a small dog. When I'm driving... It's like she knows she's being watched. She's like, I don't want to be on camera. Oh, fucking dog. Man. Snakes, I'm very respectful of. I don't like spiders, I'll say that. Anything with a lot of legs that tends to be venomous and can bite and is fast, I do not like. I don't like spiders, but like my brother, my older brother, he's terrified of spiders. Like he won't even go near them. I dislike them, but I have no problem killing them. Like I have no problem walking up and squashing them. Or if they're like a really small spider, like like a wolf spider, if I know what they are and I know they're not dangerous, then I have no problem, just like trapping them on a cup, under a cup, and taking them outside. But like millipedes and centipedes, no, I wouldn't even give those fuckers a chance. I'd kill their ass so fast. I would massacre them. Oh my god, what? Streaming. But ooh. Oh, God. I like to hunch over when I'm painting. It's a bad habit. I need to stop. Because when I eventually need to, like, sit up straight for some reason, everything cracks back into place, and it's just like, ugh, ow. It's like I want to sit with good posture, but I don't really have the best lighting set up, Anyone else in chat need advice on life? Are you all good? Make my table taller? Yeah, that's what I really need to do. I would if I could, but this table's like a little fold-out card table. I don't have a good setup. Because good setups are expensive. I've been using all my money to pay medical bills and I've been saving up to make sure I can buy my new computer, which I'm going to start getting parts for. Do I have any tips for painting bones and skulls? Yes. Make sure you layer properly. And after you apply your first layer, whether it's Ushabti Bone or Screaming Skull, make absolutely certain that you apply a shade in the relevant color palette. So, like if you're going for traditional bones like Tomb Kings, I would really recommend applying Agrax Earth Shade after you put on the base layer, and then use the lighter colors like Screaming Skull and Ulthuan Gray and White Scar to apply highlights. But those inks, the shades, they give you so much flavor. But always remember, when you use a shade, you should use fucking tiny ass amounts of it. How am I finding this new form of stream? I like it. I think if my camera had been charged at 100%, I've been actually pleasantly surprised with how good the stream quality has been for my phone. That was a pleasant surprise. So that was nice. But I like it. I mean, it's pretty chill, and I enjoy just being able to talk to you guys. You know, I feel like whenever I'm playing a game, I don't really get to talk to you all that much because I'm always having to fucking look at the stupid game. And y'all seem to be enjoying yourselves because there's more of you than usual. No, the table's rocking. It's not very stable. Here, I will show you. This is the table. I mean, look, that's all that's holding it up. It's these thin little... Those are hollow, by the way, because they're collapsible. Because you're able to... See this button here? You're able to push in that button, and this lower part goes into this top part. Then you'd smack this down, and then it would all fold up into itself. Which is great for transport reasons, but is fucking terrible for being a stable table. God damn it. Stay. Stay! Should quit game. I can think of at least a moderate list of people who would be kind of upset if I did that, myself included. This phone is doing everything in its physical power to make me angry. Oh, I will say, for the Engine of the Gods, we did get all the parts picked out that I'm pretty sure we're going to go with for the final build. So after the stream tonight, if you want to see them, I will post them in a... If we don't if we don't have one, then I will create a tech chat channel where I will post the schematics for what I'm intending to buy. So y'all can look at it and probably, like most people, rage about how I'm not going with something you like in particular, but whatever, get over it. Obviously, I will listen to suggestions if someone knows a place to get the parts I'm getting cheaper. And it's not like super sketchy like eBay or some shit. Not that eBay's always sketchy, but like if I'm buying something that I want to last, I always buy new and from a reliable source, which eBay can be a little suspicious. Do I play at a local place near me? Not in a long time, but with the opening of the Warhammer Citadel, I think I will start. So yes, I would like to do battle reports, but I kind of want to have a painted army before I do that. And I just started these Night Haunts, and they're who I kind of enjoy playing right now. Most of my Lizardmen, unfortunately, are in storage, and I did have to... Back in the day, I had to sell an unfortunate percentage of some of my collection. So I can't really field armies anymore. I just kind of have like a couple of random figures here and there. This is back when I initially let's just say that I've never been a rich person. We'll just leave it at that. Really, phone? Can you just stop doing that? Just there. Oh, Rolana, yeah. I play, so you can actually Google this. You can look up like Lone Wolf. I think it's one word, but if you look up like Texas Lone Wolf Tournament, like 2015 or 2014, I was there. I'm not saying that so you can like find pictures of me. Please don't do that. But you can actually see like how big the tourney was. That was a serious tourney. It was like $100 and something entry fee. What did I just do? God damn it. Piece of fucking shit. Accidentally snapped his arm off. I wasn't paying attention and I put too much weight on it, trying to reach something. That's incredibly frustrating. Time to bust out the glue then. We've seen you as a kid at a Blizz thing. It wasn't a Blizz thing. It was a Harry Potter thing, Misha. Get your story straight. I'm not even remotely intimidated because you don't even have the event right. Sylvaneth are a really good army, Giga Slayer. They're really fun to paint, too, from what I've heard. You can get some really interesting color suggestions by painting them after like a particular type of tree or what have you. So they're really easy to come up with really fun and interesting thematics for. Okay, we got the glue on the arm. Now we got to do the tricky part where I very carefully hold it in place and wait for it to dry. All right, Brovar. See you, man. Yeah, we're about to wrap up here. I think this is going to be the last model I do today. I think we did 3 models. Don't worry, I'll bring my phone over so y'all can see how we're doing. Yeah, I think I'll pass, guys. These models are a little too expensive for me to treat them like retarded stuff. Yeah, Mogwai, the chain rasps in particular are very fun, but a lot of their arms and chains and stuff are super thin. So it's scarily easy to accidentally snap one off, and then you have to put it back on. It's a bitch. Because the binding can take a while because of how thin everything is. All right, Justin. Give me just a second. That's how you say my name, and man, that just looks like gibberish. Ah, fuck. Just a sec. As soon as this guy's arm is done binding, I'll be good to go. It's at that stage where the glue is really ropey, but it's still able to fall off, so it's kind of... Just gonna, because it's difficult because you have to apply pressure But you also want to make sure it's properly lined up so it doesn't look awkward from like the side or the back or anything. Super annoying. Tech with a coat. Coat check. When it's cold outside, he becomes coat check. Because he's cold-blooded, and otherwise he would die. Okay, that repair actually looks pretty decent. Alright, so how are we doing? We've got... Oh! No, you're in the wrong category, friend. Alright, so... Oop. Your arm's dipping a little there, bud. Oh, I see. Okay, I see the problem. Alright. I had his arm at the wrong angle. That's what was making it look weird. Alright, we'll keep an eye on that. Alright, so... Yeah, we'll just... Sorry, one sec. I gotta get this guy so that his arm, when it fully dries, is like in the right position. So you kind of have to like brace it under something. There, that'll work. Well, let me clean my brush here. Ah, good morning, Peter. Or good evening if you're from where I am. Okay, that should hold. All right, so let me pick this up. Oh, she's all tuckered out. What a sweet girl. All right, so here's where we're at. So we've got, so this is Mr. trying to get repaired, and then we've got, we got 2. How are we doing? So we got 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then this guy over here, I did something wrong with him that I wanted to fix. What was it? What did I do to you that I put you off to the side by yourself? Whatever. Oh, you know what? Now I remember. Yeah, I put him off to the side to dry because you can see he's... let's see if I can get him under the light right. You can see how the bottom of his cloak is a little too white. And it doesn't have like a proper fade. That's because I had to paint over some stuff. So this guy needs to be just touched up. In any event, so we have 11 models done out of 20, I believe. So there are 9 more guys back here who have to have all their metal bits painted. Once we finish the metal bits, we're then going to go over all the metal bits with Agrax Earthshade. Then after that, we'll be doing some highlights and other colors. And then we'll be painting the wood on the weapons, like this axe. And then after that... I think we paint the gravestones that, yeah, some of them have gravestones on the models that we have to paint. And then once we finish that, it'll be time for basing and they'll be all done. So in any event, thank you all for joining me here. And then let me look up some of that other stuff. And before I go, maybe I can sing a little song. Okay, here we go. Oh, excuse me. You know what? Let's go over to the big computer. So y'all just stare at Chloe for a second. I'm going to go access my Streamlabs account because I have to do it from a specific thing. Otherwise, it's going to freak out. So give me just a sec, guys. I'll be right back. We'll talk for a few more minutes before we call it a night. Okay, I'm back. Justin, thank you for the ludicrous donation. You cheeky bastard. And yes, I appreciated the message on your second donation. You spoil me, good sir. Thank you. I really appreciate it. It helps a lot, and I don't really know what to say other than thank you very much. So, we're gonna talk for just a minute, and then I'll set you guys out for the. When is the dwarf Q&A gonna upload? I don't know yet. I haven't even collected the questions yet. Whoop. Wait. Plastic crack done. Oh yeah. So if there's anything y'all want to talk about, I'm good to sit here for maybe just another few minutes, just chilling, and then we will call it an evening. Justin, thank you again, by the way. I appreciate it very much. Are y'all still there, or did everybody leave? I'm just by myself, talking to myself like a crazy person. Here, I'll let you look at my... Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, I think his arm's all done. Healing up. Much better. How do people become wares? Generally, they suffer from a curse, or there's like a specific god that has blessed them with a kind of a magical change, so they take on a form more pleasing to that entity. It just sort of depends on the person and the nature of how they change. Like Children of Ulrich is a genetic change, whereas gotta have the warden in front. That's the unit champion. And then if I can move the light. Whoops, my chat. There we go. Oop. He says that, so he drops. I have a bad feeling some of y'all are getting motion sickness. There you go. Now you can... They're starting to come out pretty good. We got a ways to go, but they do look spooky. I'm pretty pleased with how they're coming out so far. Yeah, they're coming out pretty nice. What's the weakest magic? The weakest? No particular lore. Hedge magic. Nope, yep, hedge magic is definitely the weakest, actually. Which hedge magic is like people who aren't formally trained in magic, but they're not unleashing enough of a mix for it to be considered like dark magic. It's literally like these tiny little cantrips. That's where you'll run into wizards who do goofy shit like make fireworks explode out of their hands, or they like can make like spooky looking fog, or things that don't actually harm others and aren't actually dangerous, but have like they're what you would call more magicians than wizards. Yeah, the Children of Ulrich were 100% canon. Yep. If you could have a book series centralized around the Lizardmen, who would the main characters be, and what would it be about? The easiest things to do would be either the best story would probably be about the initial war between the Skaven and the Lizardmen, the 100-Year War of the Serpent and the Rat. That would probably be the best one, because you would have to detail the birth of Clan Pestilence. So you'd have to have the original Arch Plague Lord Nurglich as a character. Then you'd obviously have Tenenhuan, the Red Prophet, as a character, and his whole build to notoriety. Then you could have a couple of other really interesting characters like Lodal, the deliverer of the Ruby Sanctum, who held off like a massive army by himself. Well, he was the only survivor. Then the Slon, I'd probably have two Slon as characters. The Slon of Quetzal would be the most interesting ones because they were the ones that had the. Wait, was it Quetzal? No, it was Chakwa. The Slon of Chakwa had they had the only plaque telling about Sotek's arrival, and they kept it secret from the other Slon. And it wasn't until they were dying that they realized it was coming true. So they would have a really interesting character perspective, and they ended up dying a little ways into the war because they got infected. And basically, Tenin Juan was led the survivors out of the city, and it was this big old exodus where he then traveled around the world and did some other stuff. Yeah, Rolana, unfortunately, the Lizardmen, Games Workshop had a bad habit of really pushing the idea that Lizardmen don't think, which they do. They just don't feel like we do. Which led to a lot of people confusing the idea that Lizardmen were automatons, which they're not. They're more like wild animals. But you know, the Slon, for instance, can make really interesting characters, which we saw in the Temple of the Serpent, which was the second book in Thanquol's trilogy. That book has a Slon in it, and he's written beautifully. Like, he's really interesting character. But in any event, so yeah, the Black Library authors tend to not feel comfortable writing from the Lizardmen's perspective, so we never got a novel from their perspective. See, we'll just a daily life of the Lizardmen. I mean, some Lizardmen live an interesting daily life, most notably the Skinks. But yes, the Slon and the Temple Guard are not very interesting. 99% of the time, they're just there. All right, and let me start getting everything closed down as we're wrapping up here. Let's see. All right. Of all the money that I've had, I've spent it in good company, and all the harm that I've ever done, alas, it was to none but me. For all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Oh, if I had money enough to spend, and leisure of time to sit a while, there is a fair maid in this town, who sorely has my heart beguiled. Her rosy cheeks and ruby lips, I own she has my heart enthralled. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Oh, of all the comrades that e'er I've had, They're sorry for my going away, and all the sweethearts that e'er I've had. They beg me one more day to stay. But since it falls unto my lot that I should rise and you should not, I'll gently rise and softly call, good night and joy be with you all. Okay, all the paints are sorted. Questions. Do lizardmen eat? Yes, they eat like meat and all sorts of other stuff. Combat, yes, lizardmen are born with all the knowledge they need to do their job. When they come out of the spawning pool, they are adults and fully functioning and know everything they need to know. Obviously, they can gain intelligence, but they know everything. That's what makes lizardmen scary. Honduran angels. What the fuck is a Honduran angel? Temple guard, just guard. Temple guard, do they eat? Yes, they can, but they don't have to. Temple guard can stand unmoving for decades or even centuries without... I'll put it this way. Temple guard can stand still for so long that they build layers of dust, and intruders or other skinks have accidentally assumed they were statues because they're so covered in dust and because they just don't move. Many lizardmen do not have to eat, but they do anyway. But temple guard have hilariously slow metabolisms. Skinks have to eat quite a bit. Unless they're like Ten and Juan, in which case they seem to get away without it. Alright, gents. Well, I think we're good. Oh, and that song, that's called Parting Glass. It's a wonderful Irish tune, and when I would go out to my Irish friends' home, every day, or every time it'd be time to wrap up, that's the last song you sing, because it's the goodbye song. Love that song. Love it so much. I've sung it countless times. Do they eat raw meat or cooked meat? They can eat raw meat, no problem. Some cooked, but I don't think they're very picky. Garon, a Saurus would not lose to a Chaos Warrior lore-wise. It would be a pretty even contest. They're both colossally huge as far as, like, us petty humans are concerned, you know. Saurus are these 8 to 10 foot tall monstrosities that were built and designed by ancient gods to be perfect at war. But Chaos Warriors wear basically almost sentient, creepy plate armor that is absurdly tough, and they tend to be blessed with all sorts of mutations and wicked powers. So it's usually a pretty even contest. Rat ogres are small in Total War. Well, you have to remember, rat ogre... Alright. The stream crashed again. So, that's going to be it tonight, guys. Thank you all for joining me. I think this was fun. I don't know if y'all thought this was fun. So, be sure to let me know what you guys thought, either on the Discord or in the description of this live stream. Hope you all had a good time. We managed to get the medal onto, I think, 3 guys, so hopefully I can get faster at painting. In any event, I appreciate you all joining me for the night, as does Chloe, who's probably ready to go to bed now. Chloe, you ready to go night-night? Huh? She's just like, why you wake me up? Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. See, there's my screen over there. I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to be in Dov's tournament tomorrow morning, so wish me luck, and hopefully I'll see you guys there. Good night.